Hello, this is day 11 of this Vauxhall Vivaro camper van conversion, and what we're going to do today is get back on with these cabinets. We still have the battery box area to do, and we've got a little bit more work on the fridge unit. Once we've done that, we're going to put all the cross struts in here and start putting the drawers in, make the drawers. Then we'll make the doors and drawer fronts, and then that will be almost ready to get painted up and stuck in the van. So onto it. I'm going to make the front of the battery box first, the framing for it, and this is the same method of construction as we used for the rest of the cabinetry. This is essentially glued and then screwed right the way through with these 70mm screws. Now, the next thing we want to do is make a side panel for that. This is going to sit in the van like this. It wants a side panel on. And to do that accurately, we're going to have to take all of this stuff back into the van and just place it temporarily so that we get exactly where that side panel is going, so we can scribe it properly for the wall. Okay, so let me show you what we've got here. I've placed this in, more or less in position. We've got the space here for the fridge, and I've put this section in for the battery box. Now the chair's as far back as it'll go, and we've just got clearance there. This is good. So next thing we want to do is take this back out, and there's various components going on here, and I want to make blocks like this sort of thing to hold those things when they go in. So we have the corner of the unit here, and we've got the battery placed in the bottom of it. The other main thing which is going in here is this Renogy DC to DC charger, and I think I'd like to place that about there so that we've got enough room to get the wires out of the bottom and enough room to get the wires out of the top. And therefore I'll put these blocks here just so this has got some space behind it for ventilation and that sort of thing. So what I'll do is I'll place that about where I want it, which is there, and I'll just mark the centre of these, and I'll mark where I want the top of them. That's it there. So we want to put these blocks on about there, and I'll glue and screw them from the other side. That's those in, and I've just temporarily put that in for now. Now the other thing that we want is a couple of these breakers, one from the solar and one to the fuse box, and we have this fuse which comes with the Renogy unit, and we want to place that somewhere as well. So what I'm going to do is put this piece of wood about here, and again I'll just secure that on, and that will give a mounting board for all of those fuses. Okay, and with that on, those fuses will sit there nicely like so. And so the only other thing to do with this cabinet structure for now is to put a batten along the top to secure it to the worktop, and a batten along the bottom to secure it to the floor. Is that part of the battery box finished? I'm going to put this in first when I come to put all this together. I'll put this in first so I have access here to wire all of this up. Then we'll put the fridge panel on. Then we'll put the rest of the units in. Okay, and with the battery box pretty much ready, next thing we want to do is put these spacers in for the drawers, and I'm just going to put these in with these pocket hole screws. So first we just want a bit of glue on there, and we want to line that up. Now this is going to be very difficult to clamp. I always like to clamp this if I possibly can, but this is going to be quite difficult. So what I'm going to do is just put quite a bit of weight on the thing, and we'll just take it very slow with them. Okay, and with them in, what I'm now going to do is find the centre of these for the drawer runners. So the runners will be coming along here in those positions. I'll mark that on the other side, mark them out, and then we'll get them cut. Okay, so we've got these cross struts in, we've got the battens in for the runners. A couple of more things to do. I'm going to put the water tanks in here. So I want a piece of wood here for the bungee to secure them, and the gas tank is going to go in here, so we want another couple of pieces of wood there so we can put a bungee cord around it, stop it from jumping about. Okay, and with those in, that's just to take the gas bottle. I'll put a bungee cord through there wrap it round, hook it round the front, and the same with the water bottles. There'll be one on the back wall, and that bungee cord will come round and keep them steady. This is good. Now, next thing we want to do with this is just fill up all of these screw holes, fill up any gaps that we might have, and then give it a good sand down and prime it. Actually, one more thing. Just before I sand and paint this, what I'm going to do is measure for the doors and drawer fronts. And the way I'm going to do that is I have a piece of wood here which is 15 mil, and I'm going to mark 15 mil all the way around these openings. Then I'll measure between that and we'll have a cutting plan for the doors and drawer fronts. I have a piece of paper here and I'm going to say battery box door is 19, that is 57.5. 57.5. Okay, that's that one. Now this one is also going to be 57.5, so what I'll do with that is I'll just put gas and water door, and we know that that is going to be 57.5, and the width of that one is, that's 46.3. We'll do the same with the drawers and this locker. Alrighty, so I have all those. That's good. Put that to one side. Just going to use some of this already mixed filler, and what I want to do really is just go over these screw heads and then we'll sand them down. They're all countersunk, so we'll get a nice finish on them like that. And I'll also go over any of the exposed screw heads on these side panels. Alright, and with all of those marked out, we have a cutting list. So what I'm going to do is cut those various components, and then we'll get on to making the doors. Alright, we have all of these components cut for the doors and drawers. I'm going to set these aside on this bench for now, and I'll leave our cutting list and plan with them whilst we get back on with the sanding. Alrighty, so I'm just going to sand all of this up, get this nice and smooth. I'll give it a coat of flat paint, and whilst that's drying we'll get back on with the doors and drawer fronts. And with all of those sanded and dusted off, what we want to do with them now is just give them a coat of this primer. They might need a couple of coats, we'll see how this goes. I do expect it to sink in a little. The next thing we want to do is put these drawer fronts and doors together, and we have all the material here to do that. Now I'll do this one first. This is for the battery box, and the way this one is going together is like that. So what we want to do with this first of all is router round here, so that we have somewhere to sink the cladding into. We're going to put cladding in the middle of this, and that's the way we're going to do that. So what we want to know is where to router from on these top pieces and the bottom pieces. And what we'll do is we'll just router in there. Again, it doesn't have to be an exact amount. We could do that about 1 centimetre. We'll take 1 centimetre off there to the depth of the cladding. I've set this little jig up, and that will slide in there, and that will hold that, and then we'll just run down that with the router. And that rebate there will take that cladding. That'll fit in there just fine, and that should be all good. Right, there's the rest of them to get on with, so I'm going to get on with them. All them routed up. The next thing we want to do is fit them together, and they will go together like this. And what I'll do, I'll put a pocket hole screw here, here, here and here, screw and glue them together, and then we'll do the infills with the pine cladding. Alright, we've got all these frames together. This is good, and what we're going to do, we want to find the centre of each one of them. 231.5 And now we want to know how many of these infills to cut, and what we have there is 39 centimeters between those rebates, 39.5, sorry, so we'll go 395, and that's divided by 88, which tells us that we want 4.4. So I'm going to cut 5 of them, and we'll probably have to cut a slither for either side. Got 5 of them at 50.5, and I think what we'll want to do is just put 4 of them together, and then we'll determine what size this infill is. Looks good, and if we put them face down with our centre mark there and the centre mark there, it's a nice tight fit. That's good. Now what we want is just the width of this here, which is 2 centimeters and 2 centimeters. So I'll take 2 centimeters off this one and 2 centimeters off that side, and they will fit in there. Okay, so we have this one 2 centimeters. We'll just see that this fits all right. Just slide it into that groove. That's good. Yeah. And similarly, this one, let's get that the right way up. It's that way. We'll go into this side, and that is very good. Nice tight fit, all of that. Right, so I'm going to take this back out. I'll put a line of glue around, and then I'll put a couple of brads through each of these just to hold it, and we're nearly there with this first door. Okay, that's glued all the way around. Again, just make sure we're centered there, which we are, and we can push all this in, flatten it down, and then, as I say, a couple of brads through each of these. We'll hold it, and this will stop the wood from cupping. Okay, so our door is currently looking like this. A couple of more things to do with it. I'll finish this one off, and then I'm going to do the rest of them. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to radius these corners, and then we're going to find the centre here to put a hole in for the latch. Okay, that's all of the doors and drawer fronts done. These ones I'm just going to finish off the same as this. I'm going to take these radiuses of the corners, I'll find the middle of them, pop the hole in for the latch, and then these will be ready to sand up and lacquer. And the next thing we're going to do is make the drawers for this. So whilst this lacquer is drying, we'll make the drawers, and then we'll put the whole thing together. Okay, so we want to make 2 drawers here, and I've put the runners on already. Same as with the rock and roll bed, same sort of procedure there. Now I'm just going to take a measurement there, and I'm going to say that is 36.4, so 364 millimeters. I'm just making a note of all of this because there will be a little bit of cutting to do. Now, what is the height of this drawer? We have the height of our opening is 13, so I'm going to make the drawer itself 12 deep, so that we've got plenty of air on either side of it. And this middle drawer, let's have a look at that, that is 16.5, so again we'll make that 15.5. Now I'm going to make these out of 9mm ply, and the first thing we have to do is cut a couple of strips of that off the sheet, and then we can start cutting it to size, and I'll show you how I'm going to make the actual drawer. Okay, so I have my 9mm ply set up. I'm going to take 12 off there first, and then we'll do another one at 15.5. So this is just a circular saw, which should take that all the way off. With those 2 strips cut, next thing to do is take a rebate out the bottom of here with a router. This is a 4mm router, and I'm going to take a rebate out of the bottom of there, about 5mm up and about 5mm deep. And this will be for the bottom of the drawer, to slide the bottom of the drawer in. So I've set the router up, and I've temporarily screwed this panel to the bench, and the idea is to just router this channel down the length of the wood. Done on both of them, we are back to our measurements. Now we know that the drawer is 350 deep, so we want 2 pieces 350 for each drawer, and then we'll calculate what the front and back will be. Okay, so we've got our 2 side pieces here, and we know that the width of the drawer is 364, so we'll put that in 364, and the width of the ply is 9, so we want that to be minus 18, and that gives us 346. So we want 2 pieces for each drawer cut in at 346. Okay, so we've got all our pieces here. The way I'm going to screw these together is I'll drill some holes through this piece here, just a couple. We'll glue that, and then I've got these long very thin screws, and they will go through the sides, and those drawers will be solid. I've got a line of glue on there, and I'm just going to line them up, and then I'm just going to extend these holes just a touch into this section here, because it's fairly thin wood. We don't want this to come through the side of the wood. That's looking good. Good. So same with the other side, same with the other corners. We're only going to do 2 of these because we need to slide the bottom in, obviously. So we're going to do that one on there. We'll do the other drawer, and then we'll cut the bottoms for them. Alrighty, so with these both being now put together like this, we need to measure fairly accurately for the insert, for the bottom of the drawer, which we're going to slide into these grooves. So we know that this between here and here is 33.9. We'll just check that. Put that in there. If we go to 35.4, that is going to be good. Okay. Alrighty, so here is the drawer bottom that has been cut to size. It fits in here real nice. So what I'm going to do is going to put a little bit of glue in this rebate up the sides. Doesn't need a lot. Now, this should slide into here. Like so. We might need to just jiggle it around a bit to get it into the bottom. That's it there. And we have our lip still on the top. And this part of the drawer should just fit onto there. And that does fit very nicely, gotta say. Right, so what I'm going to do is glue this up here. And we can screw all that together. Right, we'll just put our bench stuff back on. So now, that's it. And then this is the same as before. We just want to start those holes off a little bit into the ply, making sure they're nice and square with the drill. And then put our screws in. And there we have a drawer. Now this just needs a little bit of cleaning up. I'll clean up these top edges, round them off. We'll take off any of this glue, excess glue in the bottom of it. Do the same with the other one, and then our drawers are good. Okay, so the drawers are good. They've had a sand up. Next thing to do with them is to put them into the frame, but that's going to be next time. That's it for this video. Next time, as I say, what we're going to do, we'll put the drawers in the frame. We'll get all of the door fronts on and everything like that, and then we're almost there. We can almost get this whole cabinet structure into the van. So that's next time. Now, if you've enjoyed the video, do please give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see how this whole build turns out, do consider subscribing to the channel, and in the meantime, I thank you very much for watching.